Spartans! What is your profession?
What is going on, everybody? I have no idea what's going on with the intro tonight, so we're gonna skip that part. As always, welcome back to another stream. Of course, you read the title, and that's why you're here. Um, why did we cheat? Before we do that, do me a favor: hit the like, share, and subscribe. It will mean a lot to me. Help me out, and make sure you put a little love into it this time. And of course, I am also joined by my good friend. You know him as Reckless. Yo, what's up, my man?
What's good, brother? What's good? How we doing?
Not bad. You ready for this one?
Oh yeah, I mean as ready as I'm gonna be.
This is gonna be a good. I think this is gonna be a rough one, actually. I think a lot of people are gonna be butt heads on this one. So I think we're gonna have a lot of butting heads with it. This one, I think.
I don't think so. I think you're gonna be surprised, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna. Me and you're gonna butt heads. I think me gonna. I mean, people from the chat we're gonna be butting heads with us.
Oh well, of course. I mean, I don't know. I think like I said, I think they'll be surprised. Like, because apparently I hate women. That's the feedback that I got from like the last show that we had. I'm a woman hater. So
that's completely opposite. That's a fucking lie.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe this will give some context. like I don't know. Like
so obviously we know in a relationship it is very complicated and complex. With two people actually are from two different part of the world sometimes, or different background, different culture, different whatever. The physical, I guess you want to say, yeah, physical and emotional has to be part of this conversation, I believe.
Right.
We disagree. Right. I also believe is we got to figure out, break it down. Like, why does this happen? Why do people, who are very happy in their relationship, very happy married, go and start fucking other kangaroos for no fucking reason? We need to break that down. We need to understand as men and women. Number one, that's not okay. And number two, how do we stop it? And number three is how does it moving forward, how do we prevent it? Do you agree or disagree so far?
I think that we have to clearly define what cheating is.
Okay.
So, like, I guess that would be my first question is level setting the playing field. And actually, hold up, before we even do this, let me go ahead and just throw this on my Facebook. So I'll let people watch this one. I don't care if they see my opinions on this. Hold up a second. Let me drop that on there so that way some people can tap in that and ghost watch what we're talking about tonight. So what are we defining as cheating here?
Legs are wrapped around you, banging them.
Banging me.
Yeah, banging you, or yeah.
Okay, so by technical definition, that's not cheating.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because
I was about to ask you.
Cheating for men and women are two different things. That's a woman's definition of cheating. So, and the reason I'll say that is you could get caught in that position. And I'm not saying that this is right, and I'm not saying that this is how I get down. But what I'm saying is we have multiple cases of men who get caught cheating by the definition that you just gave, that will delete themselves because they have now ruined their life and like it meant nothing to them. Whereas if you catch a woman in that same act, and we have irrefutable data of this as well, women don't care. They're like, I'm basically going to just go take my stuff and be in this dude's house anyways. Like, you're done. Like, I'm done with you. That would be considered cheating. Now, for men specifically, that is not cheating because we can do that and have no tie to it. Like it's sex for men is masturbation with a friend. And I say this all the time because it is. Like, I can have sex with somebody and have no attachment whatsoever to that encounter specifically. And it means nothing. But I tell women this all the time, cheating for men is time and resources. If I'm spending money on another chick and I'm allocating time for another chick, and you catch me with that chick and you're like, Reckless Ray, what the hell's going on? I'm like, deuces, you was getting replaced anyway. And then I don't care. I'm not saying that it's right, but what I'm saying is if you catch a man in the act of copulation with another woman, he can have no care in the world for that woman and not be intending on leaving you. If you catch a man giving time and resources that he gives to you on the same level to another woman, you're on the chopping block, sis. It's over. You're done. You walked in on your replacement at that point. And so the thing that I wanted to clearly define, and it's not, and like I said, I'm not saying that that's how I get down or that that's something that I agree with. Those are just the facts. I have no tie into that because I am not capable of really being nice or managing women like that personally. So like, I'm not a good cheater. So like, she ain't gonna do it. Like, I just replace people. I'm like, you're out. Like, you was out because it gets down to time and resources for me. But if we're gonna talk about cheating in the physical respect, then that's a slightly different conversation than if we're going like level set what is cheating. And I consider cheating, you've engaged in an act and you're out. When women cheat, they are done with the dude that they're with if given the opportunity, or if he kicks him out, or if she gets caught. She's like, yo, I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit, and if this dude catches me, I really don't care because I'm kind of not emotionally attached to him that much anymore anyways. This is a situationship until I find something better. And for men, the physical aspect of what we would consider cheating is not that. You can have sex with a chick and have no intention of ever being with her. I would dare say that in the space that we live in right now with the sexual dynamics that are going on, most men aren't going to give you a relationship at this point because most of you don't deserve it. So, I mean, that's my take on it.
So I agree. I agree a lot.
Yeah.
because when you're done in a relationship, you don't give a shit as a man. You just move on to the next piece of ass, pretty much.
Yeah.
But when you have invested so much time, you're going to fight for it at first. But at some point, you're gonna have to walk away. Like, I'm done with this shit. I'm so done. It's not even funny. You're gonna have to, put your hands up. Like, I'm done. And I think we, as men, oh, not even as men, it's me and you as buddies. We are. I think we both have agreed on it at some point. We have to walk away from situations.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the point, like, enough is enough. But also, I've had this conversation with somebody recently, actually yesterday. She's told me, like, listen, I have done nothing wrong. And my ex cheated on me the whole time, from before we got married, after we get married, during our marriage, the whole time. I'm like, and that's kind of fucked up, unfortunately. But again, I can't excuse somebody's actions. Unfortunately, it is what it is. I hate to say that, but again, I'm not that man. I know you're not that man. I know we come up like that fucking douchebags online, but honestly, you actually, you guys come up and meet us in person. We're actually pretty sweet guys, believe it or not. And time in the day, most of these guys you're hanging out with.
I mean,
go ahead.
I don't even condone. I don't like the physical aspect of it. And I'll tell you why I don't like the aspect of the physical cheating, just in general, is if you enter into an agreement where you say you're not going to do that, and then you intentionally do it anyway, like, in my opinion, you're a big piece of shit. And you're a big piece of shit, not because of what you did, but because of how you went about doing it. If you gonna be out there in them streets, then everybody should be allowed to be out there in them streets. Facts. Like, it's a cowardly act to go and lock down a chick by lying and being like, yo, I'm only gonna be with you. And then be out here in these streets so that she thinks you're playing one game and you're playing a different game. I think it's cowardly. I think it's unmanly. And honestly, a lot of dudes are like, oh, I'm a player, all that shit. Like, you're not, because you have to lie to get her to not do what you're doing because you can't take it. Because those same dudes will be the ones that'll crash out the hardest when that chick goes around and catches a body from one of the homies. You're going to sit there, you're going to cry, you're going to want to crash out over it. But it's because you didn't set a level playing field. I do believe in fairness. Like, if I'm not going to give you a relationship, then I'm not expecting you that I'm the only person you're seeing either. Like, we're not together. But I'm not going to get with you and be like, you're my person, this is it for me, and then go step out. Like, that's trash behavior, in my opinion. Like, if you got it like that and you king dingling, you a player, then be an actual player. Make her stay. And then y'all both on the same page, and then have her elect to not be with other dudes.
So before we move on, this comment right here from your best friend.
Yeah,
she's your friend. I hope she's.
Yeah, no. I like Trouble One. I'm not. You know what? She on everybody's necks, and I know that she is a terrorist out here in these streets. But I appreciate the feedback, and I'm willing to have the conversation. Like, so yes, she is my friend. Even though she probably real salty about the election results. Matter of fact, hold up a second. Oh,
well, I'm scared.
Put my fucking hat on for this. It's the same hat that I started the red wave with right here. It's the same hat. I walked in there. Them old black ladies, they wouldn't even talk to me, bro. They knew what time it was.
Yeah, you probably pissed off half the fucking people in there. Like, you're like,
I don't care. I didn't care either. I had my chest out. I was ready to swing too. I was like, I didn't care, bro. Like, what you gonna do about it?
You probably were armed too. Yeah, your fucking Glock on, ready to go. So, my opinion on this question, really fast, is, because they want to. No, it's not because they want to. Sometimes men don't cheat. Not every man's a cheater. What happened if he found out his girlfriend's cheating already, or his wife is cheating already before he cheated? Because it's been proven facts that a man who has a ring on his finger is most likely get hit on than a guy who does not have a ring on. Very simple. It's been proven studies on that. And I know that for a personal fact. When I was engaged, almost every fucking woman usually just jumped on me. And like, now I'm single, like, nobody wants to deal with me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this shit? But facts are, yes, married men get hit on more than any time. Because reasons, but they know the dick works, probably. and they don't have to, and they don't know, they know at the end of the day, okay, I can fuck them and move on. I don't need to deal with the drama. Simple. So to that statement, men cheat because they want to. Why do women cheat? Same concept. I reply the same question. It goes both ways. Why do women want to cheat? Because they want to. Why do women do things they do? Why do women go after married men? That's the better. Here's the question I'm going to ask right now. Why do married men? Excuse me. Why do women go after married men? That was a tongue twister. Sorry.
Oh,
Like,
I can tell you why. They've
Go
been
ahead.
vetted. They've been vetted. Somebody will tolerate their shit. That's why women are competitive. The issue is, and it's wild because, being back out here in these dating streets and like going on dates and stuff, I got to keep myself entertained somehow. A lot of women are like, oh, like it's really weird that you don't have a wife or you don't have a girlfriend or whatever. And I'm like, I elected to not be with that chick. Like so that was my decision. I didn't get left. I left her. So like I ended that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that they look at it, it's like, if you don't have the self-inflicted wounds, like you ain't got no baby mamas, like you're not out here seeing like 13 chicks. Like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm busy. I have shit to do. Like, I'm not just chasing women around with my tongue out. Like, that's not something, like, at this point, it's not even something that you can use to manipulate me, because most of the time that's all chicks bring to the table. And like, granted, I am down for some fun. Like, not gonna lie, like, it's great. But it's not to the tune to where it's like, I'm gonna not go get a bag. Like, I'm not gonna go work on my business. Like, I'm not gonna go make money. That's just ridiculous. And the less you care, because I get hit on a lot now. Like, I've been doing like networking events. I just got done with one tonight. I walked in there, dude. Like, I always can pinpoint my people, bro. I went and said hi to my favorite ladies that are always there. And next thing you know, new person popped up. Boom. It's a thing. We match in energy. It's great. But it's because I don't care, because I actually don't. Like, dude, since this election, I done made almost $10,000 in the last 2 days. You think I care about what these chicks is coochies, bro? Like, I honestly don't care. Like, I have so many other things that I'm working on throughout the day. I work up until when I go to bed. Like, I literally walked in, sat down from this event, told you, changed shirts, told you, shoot me the link. Now we here. I'll be here with you. And then after I get off the phone, off this, I'm going to bed. And I'm going to get up tomorrow. I got shit to do first thing in the morning. I got physical therapy at 2. And then I might have some free time. And with that free time, I got a list of shit I got to do around the place. Like, I'm busy. Like, I ain't worried about you. So if a chick goes, I'm not going to talk to you, I don't give a shit. Like, it's like, okay, that's one less thing for me to do today at this point. Like, I can go out and meet chicks. Like, that is not a problem. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in, bro. Like, not a problem at all. And I ain't broke. Like, what we doing? But this is the world that we've made. This is the world that we've made. And like, Travel One asked if I would be happy to meet a wife. I'd be like, oh, you know what? I would love that. It would make my life way easier. But I'm not going to subjugate myself to a woman. I've already got all my own shit. And you're signing a prenup. Like, a real good one, because I got a bunch of shit. So it's not necessarily advantageous, and women really don't want to act like women anymore. So like, if we just out here being a bunch of niggas fucking, then like, let's play the game. But don't be mad that I got the assignment, and I might or might not be better at it than you.
So I literally had the same conversation today at work. So 2 parts of this conversation I want to throw, and I got bring your friend's comment up next. So the number one was the hot chick, who walks in. She has her nails on point, her makeup on point.
Yep.
She thinks she can get, oh man, okay. I don't have a problem when a woman, gets dolled up, whatever. Kudos to you, whatever. What I do have a problem is when she thinks she's so hot that she can literally snap her fingers and 10 guys can be dropping like flies and help her or give her money or whatever. That's the AKA gold digger. Agree or disagree so far?
Yep.
Those are the women that always cheat.
I don't,
Or
I don't think they do. I would disagree with you on that. I don't think
okay,
they always cheat. Generally speaking, those women are working their way up a social ladder. They're normally climbers. They normally have a lifestyle that they want. And honestly, you're always jockeying for position. You gotta, I don't think they always cheat because, like, if you get the right one, a chick will start acting right real quick. Like, I've dated a bunch of very high caliber, high performance women. And, like, I understand people are like, oh, you hate women. You don't want women to do anything. Be like, listen, I've dated chicks that are in C suites. I've dated hedge fund managers. Like, I've dated women that are more successful than most of these dudes that are out here in these streets with these talking points because they're trying to get picked up by the algorithm so they can get a little clout so they can have something because they're out here saying wild shit. And those women act right with me. Relationships don't work. One of them was just, it was an age difference, and like she wasn't gonna be able to do what I needed to do because like I gotta have some offspring if I'm getting married. Otherwise, I ain't never getting married. Like, it's fine. But the other one, she was young, and the issue was the other chicks that were supposed alpha women in her ear that had weaker men for husbands. Why are you doing that for him? Oh, he had to leave to go do something during dinner. Girl, you make more money than he does. Why's he got to do that? Because I own a business. I own clock in. I got to, like, somebody got to, I'm the buck stop. Okay. So, but her friends were the ones who influenced the end of that relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, but the issue was she started acting like a woman and they didn't like that. Like, oh, why are you soft? Oh, why'd you grab him a drink? Why'd you fix him a plate? I'm not fixing my man a plate. Like, why are you acting like this? That shit. But if they find the right one, they'll check out. The issue is you gotta, when you get into relationships with those chicks, I would say the thing that will make them cheat is if when you get with one, if you steal that baddie out the club, you gotta nix all them friends. You gotta get her a new friend group. You gotta take her away from the environment that she was in. Like, that shit's over. If you can't do that, then her friends will influence her into ruining that relationship. Her circle will influence her into ruining that relationship. My ex right now, the ex that my most recent ex, great girl, had some shit that she needed to fix. As soon as we broke up, her friends got in her ear while she was sad. She want to be out in the streets with them now. Fine. But her friends were the reason that she didn't do what she needed to do to fix the shit that she fucked up. It wasn't her. It's the circle, the people that these women surround themselves with, and that's the thing that we got to keep in mind. The bitter bitch brigade is always recruiting. They are always in recruitment mode, and they can be happy for you when y'all first meet, when it's puppy love and shit. But after a while, when she start acting right and don't want to be out in the streets with them no more, they're gonna try to bring her back. Oh, that was cute, girl, but like, it's time to come back to these streets. The streets miss you. Oh, we doing this. Oh, you can't go on girls trip. We going down to Puerto Rico to get dick down. You ain't coming? We all going.
You have a very, very, very good point right now, because end of the day, and like we all been in relationships, like I said earlier. Like, I know my best relationship is like when I come home from work, I'm going to jump in the shower, babe, kiss her, and all of a sudden, oh, my dinner's right on the table, and my beer or my coffee's ready in the morning, my lunch is packed. That's what I grew up on. I'm not saying every woman needs to do that, but that's what I grew up on, and that's what I expect. And it's nice to have it.
But like, hold on. Trouble once said I watched too many Gossip Girl episodes. No, I live that shit. I've lived it. Like, it.
All right, let's get highlight her first comment. Here you go, bro.
Okay.
So, a woman who is a wife, mentoring, right?
Material.
Thank you. They are everywhere. Yeah, everywhere in the Western Hemisphere. Go to the Middle East and South, and where they love 47.
Listen, travel. I'm in the Midwest, smack dab in the middle. I'm not. Look, travel. You're right. It's not. I can't say that they don't exist in the Midwest, in the West. What I'm saying is they are few and far between because the culture here is so toxic and trashed that the women who would be wife material are normally coming with baggage and self-inflicted wounds from somebody else, and you got to fix that mess before you can move forward with them. And after a certain point, you don't want to be the cleanup crew for chicks that passed you up when you were climbing. And does that make some of us jaded? Like, yeah, but as you're climbing up the mountaintop to the mountaintop, getting pelted with rocks the whole time, you ain't trying to help the people that threw the rocks. Does that mean there's none? Absolutely not. I definitely think that there's definitely some. I would say at certain points in their lives, when women have that realization, there are definitely some. But the question is, it's like, what are you willing to fix? What are you willing to come in and clean up? What's that going to look like? Is this woman going to submit to you at this point? Because now she's jaded, because she's gone through damage before she got to you, that she's now bringing to your door, that she's going to take out on you. Like, I'm very, very, very cognizant of paying for crimes that I didn't commit. And like, I cut bait on that shit quick because I don't have to. I don't have to do it. Like, next year, I'm going traveling, and I understand y'all go travel, and you like, oh, we going down to Costa Rica to bust them down, whatever. Y'all want to be passport bros. I'm going to shop for property. So, like, the reason I leave is different. So we move with intention over here. What I'm willing to tolerate, knowing that most likely within the next 36 months, I'm not going to be stateside full time anyways. If I'm not in a relationship where I'm intending to marry somebody, I ain't dealing. I will deal with the minuscule. Like, you better be fantastic to me, or I just won't deal with you, because I already know where my North Star is. I have the resources. I will acquire more resources. I will be able to not be here. I can go into a community where women are still feminine, or at least sell the lie of femininity. I mean, that's really the issue, is chicks in the West don't even want to sell the lie. Like, they showing up for dates telling you they don't need you, but thanks for the meal. You can still buy this $200, $300 meal, but I don't need you. Bet. You want to go 50-50? Oh, it's giving broke. Giving like you need me to pay for your half. Like, that's the thing. And I'm not saying that applies to all men. Like, don't sit here and be like, oh, I'm in reckless raise lane. Like, where's your international prop? Where are you going to shop? Where's your realtor? If like you not. So I'm talking specifically me. I don't deal with it. I don't advocate other men deal with it either. I mean, you got to be pretty hard up. You got to think about this. And this goes for men and women. We only have so much time on this planet. The day that you took your first breath, you were working towards your last breath. Why would you spend it having to go back and forth and be miserable? Why would you spend it getting cheated on because you wanted Chad Thunderclap to fold you like laundry so that you can be upset all the time? Then you're going to have a kid. Then you're going to leave him take half his resources or whatever. And then you're going to try to go find love. And then you're going to make the next dude pay for what the last dude did to you. Why would you do that? You only have so much time here, people. Why would you make kids that didn't ask to exist? Or worse yet, why would you be so irresponsible that you want to advocate for deleting kids that you don't want from dudes that you just letting shoot your club up? Why are we doing this? It's insane. People on this planet in the West, and this is the reason I say it's a cultural issue, are so toxic that they can't be happy. And all these women that live in bondage, apparently, that are feminine in other countries, the first thing they notice about American women and Western women in general is that you are mad. You are angry. You are not pleasant. You don't smile. Like, why would you want to live a life like that? Why wouldn't you want to smile? Why don't you want to laugh? Why do we want to be hateful? Why do we have to be combative? Why do you want to say that you want a man where all the husbands at, but also I got to compete with this dude when he gets home like he's not competing with everybody else outside the house for resources? Why are we doing that? It doesn't make sense. Also, it really doesn't make sense to sit up here and bitch about women that aren't in your dating pool. That you couldn't get if you wanted to because you a dysgenic fuck and you don't take care of yourself. Ain't nobody checking for you. Men going their own way. Nobody was fucking you to begin with. You just solidified something that was already happening in your existence. It's not like you took your dick away. Like, that would be like if I went my own way, bitches would be upset. Like, if nobody wants you and you go, I'm taking my ball and leaving, and the feminists are doing it right now because they're upset about the election results with the 4B movement. It's a bunch of chicks that nobody wanted to fuck. Y'all the leftovers. You the 3 a.m. call, so 3 a.m. ain't good. That just means we gotta lock it down in the club then. Okay. Like, whatever. Like, it's not the best of the best that are opting out of any of this. And I'll put it there, but it's like, if you know that you're working towards your last breath, why are you not making the active steps and the active efforts to be happy, to be pleasant? I'm not saying like follow happiness, but to be in situations to where, you know what, you'll work some shit out. Be with somebody that brings you more joy than drama. So when the drama shows up, you can look at the good that person is and be like, I'm just annoyed right now. I can fix this right now. I'll be upset for a little bit, but we're going to work through it. Find yourself someone that you want to be loyal to. How about that? Like, none of this stuff is hard. It's just people are choosing to live miserable lives and do damage to other people, which then creates monsters. And now we just got a bunch of monsters out here in the dating pool. And that's what you have to deal with. Like, things could be so simple.
The thing here in America is so toxic.
Yeah.
Because the old school, at least I grew up, I don't know about you, right? Grew up with, my mom used to cook for my father, make sure he's laundry stuff. That is the way most European countries are. I can't speak about anybody Greece. I can only speak for my country, Greece. That's how it is. So that's why I say toxic. And now if you ask a woman to do that now, they go, I'm not doing that. He can do it his fucking self.
Yep.
I know, say 100 men, for example, are married. It's only 1% say, no, my wife does her duties and I do mine. I'm like, I take care, she might take care of the laundry. She might wash it. I fold it. 50-50. I'm like, okay, I think that's fair. I cook. She put it in the laundry, the washing machine, the dishwasher, whatever. You see where I'm going with this, right?
Yep.
And the toxic here is never going to change, unfortunately. It is what is with things. Like, as much as you want to change it, I don't think it's going to change anytime soon in this country. It is what it is now. And as much as we like to change it, it's not going to. This is what we're in now. So let's follow up her next one. You take this one. Go ahead.
Hold up. Let me look at it. Let's see here. She says, well, black women are all that and a bag of chips. So any man who tries to humble a black woman will get ousted. Confidence will not be compromised, so the man will need to lower his standards for the harlot. I mean, you're saying that we're lowering standards, but I mean, honestly, Travel, and I hate to bring this up because I've been trying not to talk about politics. I want to talk about money. But since we're here, I mean, we humbled a black woman 2 days ago. Like, so much so that she couldn't even conceive right. She had to go backstage and cry and then wait till 4 o'clock the next day to say she lost because she lost so bad. Humbled. Okay. Yeah. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I don't do content and I don't speak specifically about black women because, generally speaking, in the places that I frequent and the echelon of life that I'm in, there's not a bunch of them that aren't married. I'm just saying. There ain't a bunch of single baby mama black women where I'm at. There aren't. So I don't speak specifically about black women. I speak about women, period. Because I don't believe in talking shit about, because obviously y'all know my mama black and she did a good job raising me. And she also raised me in a household where I got to see black women who respected men in general, not just the black ones. But It's one of the things of her being a single mother that she did right. And she made sure that I had positive male influences. She spoke highly of men. Everyone in my family spoke highly of men, even though there weren't always men around. One of the things that the culture has lost in the olden generations. But everyone can be humbled. It's not about being humbled. It's not about being humbled. You're taking two halves and making a whole. The issue is women in the West, modern women in the West, want to be the masculine in the relationship, which leaves you a pool of effeminate men, because a masculine man, an actual man, is not going to deal with that. They're
and
not.
that is the problem we're having right now.
Yeah. And it's not that we're not, and it's not a matter of lowering standards. The issue is, you say lower standards. It's not a lower standard, because you know who the 10s actually are? The ones that have rings and happy marriages and good
I
families.
don't consider that lowering your standards. I consider
no. But that's the issue. Is that's one of the games women play. They shame you in everything that they say when they're not getting what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They want to jab it in there. They're just, it's like a little rib. And I get it. I understand. It makes sense. Like, I'm not even hating on it. What I'm saying is, the actual 10s, regardless of how they look, are the ones that have families, the ones that are married, the ones that got on somebody's program and is living a happy life. Because I know a bunch of multimillionaires and a couple of billionaires from the field that I'm in. Like, real life, like numbers in the phone, important people.
Big shots.
And they're not dating club thoughts. Not all their wives are club 10s. But you know what? Them bitches won. They don't work. They don't work because they have to. They work because they want shit to do throughout the day. They're not under duress like y'all are, paying 100% of everything. They're paying nothing. They're working for fun. Go to work smiling, in a good mood, laughing, wondering why the rest of these bitches ain't got no rings and they're sitting around here mad. It is what it is. So lowering standards it's not a lowering of standards if you the one with the resources. If you marry somebody who's got money and she out there getting a bag too, as long as she act like a woman when she gets home, it doesn't matter. No one's telling y'all you got to be in Handmaid's Tales. What I'm saying is, maybe you should be nice to the dude you let stick a dick in you.
That sounds pretty right.
Maybe you should be feminine to him. Maybe you should rub his back and make sure he's good. But y'all want to run around acting like niggas too. Like you hard. Okay. Then you just gonna get pumped, dumped, left out here, and you're gonna be raising kids that by yourself. Because no one wants to be around you, because outside of that one thing, you have nothing left to offer. You're not pleasant. You're not kind to him or anyone else. And realistically, at the end of the day, most of y'all actually do hate men. And that's cool, because I think you can do whatever you want to do. Like I said, first wave feminist through and through, baby. But that accountability comes like it or not. Reality is what it is, like it or not. The election is what it was, like it or not. And I understand y'all mad because the men said, yo, we're not letting y'all do this anymore, because everything that you do is stuff that we let you do, and we don't let you talk trash to us. You told us to sit down and shut up. You told us that you didn't want us talking to you. Now y'all on TikTok complaining that we didn't sit down and shut up when it came to the election. You had a bunch of dudes who probably didn't even say shit because they didn't want to have the conversation with their girl because they henpecked, but got in that booth and did the right thing as a man, and then silently strolled their way back out. And they probably telling you right now that they voted for Kamala. And I don't understand how these numbers came out like this. But I mean, we're done talking. You asked us not to talk to you. We stopped talking to you. What you do? You get on TikTok. Where are the men at? Why ain't y'all coming to the club no more? Like, we don't even want to fucking be around you. we're avoiding you.
And it depends on where you go. Some places the women are not even at the club. You know what I'm saying? They say that I'm not dealing with that bullshit either. So you have that factor too. I know. Like a couple months ago, like I told you, you were texting actually when I was at the bar by myself. Like, dude, I'm by myself. And you go, oh, you get used to it. I'm like, no, I'm good with that. But my point is trying to get with that is the decent ones are not even out there. They're saying homeless because they don't want to deal with the bullshit either.
Dude,
So,
I mean, what are we supposed to do? Because, well, the issue is it's not, and I understand it's not all women. I get it. It's just the women that are talking real loud and it drowns out the other ones. But you know what? Them silent ones is about to start getting loud because they went and voted for 40 for 45 and made it 47 too.
Yeah.
People are sick of this. We're sick of having these conversations. Like, I think that this is such a dead topic that, like, bro, Sparta has to be. He messaged me like 3 times about coming up on this thing because, like, it's a dead topic for me. Like, because I don't have problems getting women. Like, if I want to have fun, that's great. If I want to date, that's great, because most women, I mean, honestly, if I have sex with you, you're probably going to want to date me. It's just the truth. I'm awesome to be around. I pay for meals. I do all the things, but, like, I'm not sitting here trying to compete with you. I'm not trying to talk about none of that stuff because I'm actually competitive. So, like, if we just talking about salary, like, I don't give a shit about that. The only salary that I count, I don't even count my salary. Only salary that I count is this passive income portfolio that we build up, and you can check us out over on Future Financial Strategies because I keep my receipts. Like, my money's growing. Track it every month. Net worth's going up. Income's coming up. Portfolio's spilling over. Everything's growing. When I compete, What do you own? What is your net worth? How much income do you have that you don't have to go punch a clock for? And most of the time, all that stuff is zero. Unless they went through a divorce, then they got somebody else's house. Would you build yourself? Like, because, like, if you just going around taking resources, like, I ain't fucking with you anyway, because you ain't gonna get none of mine. I mean, like, I just don't like.
and
This shouldn't be a competition. That's what I'm
No, it
saying.
shouldn't.
You're taking 2 parts of a whole. People have their roles. Do the jobs. Like, we're not good at y'all's jobs either. like it's not that hard, and be pleasant. Like,
and that's the point. You know, you don't have to be a fucking bitch every day or a motherfucker.
Right.
And
Hold
like,
on,
I know we
hold
come
on.
like a fucking. I'm sorry.
After you're done, pull that comment that she just put up. I'll break that down too.
All right. I got a couple comments. I'm going to get to it. I want to go down the list for a second. We got a couple to address here. So let me start addressing these comments before I say my comment, my 2 cents. All right. Where we left off, we got here. Okay. So she says, traveling and will continue to do so. The husband can pay for all the tips and expenses. I know that's going to piss him off already.
Dude, what? Oh, the what?
The husband should be paying for all the tips and expenses.
Well, okay. So it depends on how you're doing stuff, because you're gonna travel. You get into the bag. So if you got a husband and he's paying for all the trips and expenses, are you putting all your money into the investments account to build up the lifestyle and the foundation? Or are we just burning everybody's money, and his money's for your pleasure and your money's for your pleasure? Because if your money's for your pleasure and you're using his money for trips and expenses, y'all gonna end up broke. You're gonna be poor. Then you're gonna leave him after you burnt his resource. So where's the strategy in that? Who's doing that and being successful? That's the problem. And I'll say it specifically with Black women. Y'all destroy wealth and break families talking about generational wealth, but you want he's supposed to just pay for everything and build the foundation and invest, and you just gonna sit at home and do nothing because you stupid and can't raise the kids?
Boing.
Like, what are we doing here? The chick saying that got the infinity wigs and 18-inch fucking nails and can't wipe their asses right. I'm supposed to be a stay-at-home wife. You don't even know the first thing about being a stay-at-home wife. You don't know how to manage a household. You ain't gonna manage appointments. You ain't gonna get the maintenance done on the house. You just try. What you supposed to do? Just sit around and look cute? No one's doing that. Nobody. No one. Like I said, I'm in these spaces. I'm seeing what these people's house lives are like. Like, and why would he need a woman's money? He shouldn't need a woman's money. But if you guys are building wealth, the man that you're talking about that doesn't need any assistance, why don't you give a fuck about your family? How about that? Why are black women so selfish that they don't give a fuck about their families? Why don't you actually give a shit about generational wealth? Talking about why does he need my money? He doesn't need your money. Your family needs your money, stupid. That's a dumb statement. Why are y'all so offended by taking care of your families, by building something for your family? Why is that so upsetting to y'all? That's why you're alone. That's why y'all are out here arguing with men, saying that men are the problem, and we're just ignoring you and going making more black people. We'll make different color black people. That's fine. I make a baby. That baby's going to be black. Congratulations.
And here's my issue with this comment right now. The husbands should be paid for all that bullshit. Okay, I don't have a problem paying for stuff. I'm the first one to go for his wallet, always. But here's where, when you're trying to buy a house or start a business, I want us to be a team here. We work together on that.
Thank you. Every other culture is doing that. All the ones that are washing the floor with us. There ain't nowhere where there's just a pillow princess that's laying on the couch doing fuck all day. They don't exist. Y'all got sold this dumbass lie, and now you're so prideful in your ignorance that you'll sit here and be like, I'll tank this whole fucking family. Fuck you. Like, what do you mean we ain't got no investment money because I spent it all, because I made you take us all on trips and girls' trips, and you got to pay for everything. We do pay for stuff, most of it. The issue is you're already working. So what's happening with your money? Yeah. And why is it not contributing to your family? You still going out here and doing this shit anyway. That's the reason y'all are at the bottom of fucking everything. Y'all can't even keep the rent paid most of the time. Y'all the most evicted. You're literally losing, and you function financially. And I'm not saying you specifically, Travel One. What I'm saying is the culture, because we can look at the statistics. Y'all getting evicted more than anybody. So even while you paying 100% by yourself, you still doing everything to impress everybody else and act like you have money. Not you specifically, Travel One. I'm just saying the culture. By the statistics. This ain't me making it up. Those are just numbers. Math sucks sometimes. But y'all are out here trying to do the most to say that you're doing the most and calling everybody else dusty. And then as soon as one bad thing happens, y'all getting evicted. As soon as they shut down everything, y'all the ones who getting laid off. Y'all the ones, and then you getting evicted because you was living hand to check. Now you got to sell your booty hole on OF for $5 a pop. For anybody who wants to see it, disgracing yourself so that you'll never find a man that's not a drug dealer again. And then want to talk trash about us. Like, and you sit here in such a combative state talking about, I don't want to contribute to my family, even though I was working to pay all the bills before, and now I ain't got to pay for shit. But also I ain't going to invest in the foundation for this family. I ain't sharing nothing with you. You're selfish. Y'all is selfish. And I don't know any other way to put it, because you have to really, and this is the reason I say you hate men. You got to really hate men to go, if I was working, I come into your life, you're handling all the trips and vacations and the bills and shit, and I'm keeping my money and I ain't contributing shit to this, but we going to have kids and this is going to be a household. Mm-hmm. Also, I'll leave you and still take half your shit, even though I spent all your money. Like, that doesn't make sense financially. Financially, that's just stupid. Secondly, every other culture, all the ones that are smoking the crap out of us while y'all are at the bottom, gonna keep saying that, are doing exactly what I just said. Like I said, I'm not making this shit up. I didn't invent this ideology. I see people that have successful households that do have generational wealth, that have been doing it for a long time. And I get to talk to them in depth. And I get to ask them questions. How'd you get here? Oh, this is what we do. One of us is paying for the trips. The other one's seeding the foundation because we got two incomes, so we can just live off his income. She get into the bag too. We invest in all her money. but you don't want to. You want it to just be yours, because the reality of it is, most of y'all are living paycheck to paycheck because you spend every dime that you have. And then you want somebody else to pay for everything. And then you're going to spend every dime that they have too. And then when they run out of money and y'all are broke, you're going to have your little escape nest egg and you're going to go do it to somebody else like a goddamn cicada. Y'all are locusts. Y'all navigate like locusts. You are financial parasites. If that's the ideology that's prevalent within the culture, and from the looks of things, it seems like it, while still talking shit.
So we get to the next one. Please explain why she needs to submit to anyone in order to consider a wife.
Being a wife doesn't necessarily mean submission. I mean, I don't know if y'all are, if the only men out there are cavemen, or what realm of men you have access to, but generally speaking, most men, Sparta said it, I've said it. You're taking two halves and making a whole. He said partners. He's looking for somebody. Y'all are partnering together. Y'all are on a team together. If you are on a team, you are not submitting. You are helping. You are in a role. You are doing things. Team. It's a team. There's two of you. You are a team. Ain't nobody asking you to just mosey around the house and don't make eye contact and only speak when spoken to and spread your legs. Like, ain't nobody even saying that. I'm saying, why can't you work as a team? Why does it have to be so combative that, like, how do you even expect to have a husband or be in a relationship if that's the stance that you're taking? You coming in basically saying, yo, I'll be with you, but fuck you. Like, I don't even like you. Matter of fact, I ain't giving you shit, and you better pay for all this stuff, and I'm going to be on your neck the whole time. No one's dealing with that. No one who could deal with that is dealing with that. Unless, as far as they're concerned, you the last piece of pussy on the planet, and good luck finding that guy. That shit right there, that mentality right there is why men cheat. When it turns into that, I can understand why he cheats. I'd be putting my dick in anything else too, because that would be horrible. That's the dude that's got to go sit in his driveway for 45 minutes before he goes in the house, drinking little mini shots so that he can take the edge off to deal with you and them rancid kids that you probably poisoned against this man so that he can pay for all the trips. like that's who cheats. That's who cheats. And it's because you are wanting war within your house. Why wouldn't you want to be peaceful? I mean, shit, Travel. Do you want to pay for me to live at your house, bro? Like, I'll clean that bitch. I'll stay at home. I want to be on the Xbox sometimes, but by the time you get home, I'll be ready. I got your meal. I'll rub your back. Let me stay at home then, and you just go to work every day and see how much you like that. I'll be in good shape too. I'll be in damn good shape. Yes. No, I already answered that. I know a bunch of them. I'll be going to network events. We got all the real estate agents, designers, all of them. It's a cesspool. He said, well, hold on. Black women are target. Hold on. No, pull that one back up.
Sorry.
Pull that one back up. I didn't read that one. Black women are targets, Ray. No woman is going to smile and flirt with a strange man walking down the street or on a train or subway. Come on now. Oh, okay. So I don't. This is a thing. I live in the Midwest, so we don't have subways. We don't have subways. And Kansas City, we got like we don't even. We have like the Amtrak, but like we ain't got trains. I'm not telling women to flirt with men on the bus, but like if you like at the library, you can flirt with men. Like you can be nice. I mean, women say nice stuff to me a lot of places. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying you should flirt with strange men, but like men that you are interested in should not be strange. This should not be a battle. Like that. I'm not trolling. I really don't understand.
Flirting. If you're on a train and if you see somebody smiling, hey, I have a key. I have a little secret to tell you guys. Smile back. It wouldn't hurt. That's being friendly. It's called. He doesn't even flirt immediately.
I mean, no, she live in New York. I wouldn't smile at nobody there, bro. I've been to New York.
I'm from New York, fucker.
I don't. Hey, bro, I wouldn't smile at you, bro. I don't smile at nobody when I'm in New York. Like, I'll be in there. I'll be stone faced with the modern women, bro. I'll be like,
you fucking asshole. You're like, okay. Okay, you probably get squeezing cheeks together, so close, like, oh,
Bro,
hopefully no one comes behind me. Nobody comes behind me. Nobody comes behind
bro, like,
me.
I'll be up there leaning against the door, waiting for it to open so I can fall out first. Like, I ain't playing, bro. Like, but so in that type of environment, things are different. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's not the environment in Kansas City. That's not the environment in Iowa. Like when I go to Des Moines, not the environment there, not the environment in Omaha, not the environment when I go down to Oklahoma City. Like, it's not the environment. So, but in New York, I do understand because I've been there and I was like, these motherfuckers are all weird. Like, I don't smile at women in New York. Like, even if I'm out, like if I'm out at a bar, I'm like, you better talk to me and say something nice, or I'm not talking to you, because like New York is on some different time, and I ain't trying to go there now. I mean, travel, if you live in New York, you shouldn't even be outside right now. Y'all got cartel running up and down the street, just robbing people on bicycles and mopeds and Groms and shit. Like, you in a hellscape. That's different. You got to adapt to that environment. What I'm saying is, maybe you should come to the Midwest and find yourself a husband. That's all I'm saying. Like, because then you ain't got to worry about going somewhere and smiling and having somebody accost you. Like, that's all. That's all I'm saying.
Her next comment is, men are confusing. You do not know what you want, and men are not gentlemen. And that's a lie. You scream woman because of sure black men and treat them. Okay, I have a problem with this comment.
No. It's okay. I 100% am certain that I do not scare black women because I don't talk to them because they don't want to be talked to. Y'all asked us not to talk to you, so I don't. I don't smile at black women because you said don't smile at us because we don't owe you a smile. So I don't.
The only thing I have
So,
issue with that is
so there's no way that if that's, as somebody who doesn't really interact with black women who don't want to talk to me, like if a black woman comes and talks to me, that's a different conversation. But like, as far as initiating with black women, no, like you all ain't got to worry about that shit out of me specifically, because I am not initiating conversation because you've said as a culture, y'all don't want me to talk to you. And 9 times out of 10, you don't want to talk to me either because I'm put together well. I don't present myself as a thug. My pants aren't around my knees. I exude confidence. I walk with my chin up and my chest out.
the only issue I have with that comment is men are not gentlemen. That's wrong because a lot,
They are
even
too.
from
They are.
yeah,
They are. I mean,
to
men,
this
men
day,
might not be gentlemen to black women, but that's because y'all on TikTok talking about we don't exist for the male gaze and shit. So
I still open.
you black women and hairy white girls with dreads, y'all don't want to be talked to. Like,
I still open the
said
door
it.
for women personally. That's how I roll. But anyway, so Alicia says it's like this now because a women are working long hours there, days, and just like men, and I agree with that. In
Yeah.
the days of our parent women were able to be home, and she's
Yeah.
right. I can't deny when
Yeah.
she's right. You know, women work crazy hours now. Like so,
So,
it's not.
and
Go ahead.
agreed. I'm not saying that we'll put it this way. If a CEO of a company, someone who's in C-suite that's also working crazy hours, can come home and make a meal from time to time, so can you. Because your job definitely isn't as important or grueling or as many hours, guaranteed, unless you are also C-suite at a company. If you manage a hedge fund, you can come home, make dinner every once in a while. So can you, because your job isn't as grueling, as stressful, as impactful. You don't have to go walk through the smog in China to check on factories, and all the things therein that come with. So what I'm saying is, if the girl bosses that y'all look up to can do it, sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, because like obviously you're 100% correct. If you're both working and you're both putting in work, then obviously there's a delineation of things that need to be done. And I'm not saying that you got to do everything, or that should be an expectation if you're both working, but like while you're in, because if you're both working, what you should be in is a building phase. So I'm going to give you some free game. One of you should be working to build the family's foundation. Whoever manages the money, one of the salaries, since y'all both working, right? You both out here getting it. You married now. This is for married people. You ain't got to do it if you couples. One of the perks of dating old reckless Ray De Niro is I give my chicks the game. Every chick that dates me, at least gets told what they should be doing financially to help themselves. So like, even if you ain't around me no more, you got the game. Like you can do what you need to do. The other person can pay for all the trips and the stuff. So there's a foundation and house. So that's your mortgage, your utilities, rent, utilities, whatever. And then one person should be seating, foundation, and trips, because you shouldn't be living off of taking trips off a salary. That's ridiculous, especially if you're both poor or working class like me, or upper working class. And I mean, I don't understand why people don't want to be rich. The problem is, what you knuckleheads do is you get with somebody and y'all spend both salaries. That's the problem. Y'all don't want to grind it out and be like, yo, we're going to compact ourselves into whoever makes the most, that salary covers. That's how much rent and utilities we can have. The other salary, we're building this portfolio out so that we can be rich and have some actual generational wealth, so that somebody can afford to get sick, maybe take a couple of weeks off, take a month off if you need to. And then, we can keep it moving. We're going to just keep running this bag up. Y'all don't do that. Y'all spend both salaries and then wonder why we can't put 2 and 2 together, talking about Biden pay for these student loans. Like, that's all this is. Y'all, people do not work together. And I'm not blaming that solely on the women. Men don't have a plan when a woman comes in. They ain't got the game. So you going in going, oh, who's in charge? Well, now the woman's going, I got to be in charge. I don't like this dude. Now everybody cheating and stuff don't work out. Or you run out of money and get a divorce, and then you want to take half his stuff anyway. It's not all on the women. Dudes don't have a plan. They don't have a program to walk into. They don't have a covering to go under. But you could also look at the dudes you date. Most of you are dating dysgenic fucks that are 130 pounds soaking wet with low aspirations and are broke and smell bad. And like, y'all just dating these dudes so that you can say, look, these dudes ain't shit. Man, the dude I got, I'm better than he is. Because you want to be the winner in the relationship. You want to be the alpha. So your dating pool immediately shrinks to what's left. And you don't like what's left. But you also, since you get all the positive feedback from what's left, don't want to hear somebody like me tell you, well, this is what it is. And if you don't like it, cool, I'll walk. Also fine. Like, I totally understand that. Because like women always say, a man like myself that will leave and knows he will leave and is fine leaving and isn't really going to throw it in your face. It's not a threat or nothing. It's just a reality of what will happen. Y'all don't like that because there's a possibility that I'll leave. And I get it. Which is fine.
Let me switch gears for a second here. All right. So, do you feel social media has an effect on relationships and marriage now these days?
100% does.
Okay, explain.
It has an effect because regardless of what people think, like the people that subconsciously, and I used to do this too. And the only reason I noticed this was because like when I first got into, like, for instance, the red pill space, when I started getting into that content, I just listen to stuff. So like I'll be working throughout the day and normally I'm listening to an audiobook. I listen to music on Mondays. It used to be music all the time, but like I started incorporating audiobooks, podcasts. I like to be constantly getting information and learning while I'm working, right? Mm-hmm. So subconsciously listening to stuff is seeding programming. So like I'll retain a lot of information that way. A lot. Like I'd say like 70% of like what I like the audiobooks that I do, 70% recall on that shit because I'll listen to it multiple times a month. Because I listen to one book a month all day, repeatedly for a month. I listen to podcasts. Like, so normally after I finish a book, I'll have a couple of days where I'll let my brain rest. I'll listen to podcasts for a day, right? Listen to news, listen to finance stuff all day. But when I was specifically just listening to Red Pill content, it tinged how I looked at things. Now, after I got through the original rage phase of it, it wasn't so bad because like now it's just like, hey, I'm observant of what you're doing. So like we on the same page. Like it's cool. How you want to play this. But for women that are also feeding this content, like you are programming yourself. Like I don't listen to red pill content all the time anymore. Like I don't. Like I have a couple of people that I listen to because like they do news stories, current events, what's going on out here in these streets for when I got to show up on Sparta's podcast and hang out so I can stay fresh. But I'm not ingesting that all day. It's like I'll listen to a podcast about politics all day. I can listen to finance indefinitely. Like I love that. And that's basically what I listen to: politics, finance, and then I'll have an allotment of maybe 2 or 3 red pill content creator videos. And after that, I don't want to listen to it anymore because I'm obviously going on dates and stuff. And like, while I'm aware of what's going on, I don't want to show up with that chip on my shoulder. Like, bitch, I don't need you. Like, fuck you. Like, this is how it's going to be. Da, 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 da. I'm like, I can be observant and figure out if I want to talk to you again, but I don't like, you're programming yourself. So like when these women see these things, they're getting programmed. I mean, look at all the people. Travel One even talked about it. Reproductive rights. That's state dependent. Your state votes. They voted. Like a chick that I'm talking to right now didn't realize that Kansas, a red state, had already passed the women's reproductive rights bill as soon as they took it out of Roe v. Wade. We were one of the first states to say, cool, girls, do what you want. We don't care. Just don't put no goofy shit in it. You know what? Missouri just passed it as well. You know what theirs had in it, though? Now they can give hormone therapy to kids because chicks don't read. Yeah, they're mutilating kids in Missouri now. They passed it because they had to have their reproductive rights. And if you put reproductive rights on there, these morons don't read. But that's what they wanted. That's what they advocated for. So now you can get some titties on your 15-year-old or whatever. Congratulations.
All right, let's get this guy in here. You know I gotta play your intro. You won your election, Mr. Pope. You have won for the third term. The boy and brother. I've been waiting to do that all fucking day. I just couldn't help myself. Paul, what's going on, my man? How are you tonight?
I am good. I'm just letting Ray. So my hashtag, since I'm a Steelers fan, I'm always saying let Russ cook. So I'm just letting Ray cook. I just let him go. So I was asking you earlier. Is that, do you even need me up here tonight? Because
we want to talk to you, Bennett. I ain't seen you in a minute.
Ray's on a roll. So I'm like, hey. But as I'm always telling him, I don't know what it is. Your what you say has so much substance to it than sometimes the presentation that you give out, because it is, I mean, last few minutes you've been dropping. I mean, we've been in this manosphere space now for about 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
And people talk about, well, marriage isn't a partnership and things of that nature. You're fully fine with that. And I think a lot of women would be cool with that. I mean, I've always thought there was always like a balance to this thing, and I think you nailed it. It's like, can two people just get together and decide that they can be better together than individuals?
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense to me, and I don't see how it can't make sense to other people. But like you said, if you're too long in the red pill space and they want, what's that? We're not going back to the 1950s. It was just, that's not happening. June Cleaver and Leave It to Beaver and all that, them days is gone. So where do we go from here? Because women's going to start making money. They're in the fields now. They're doing stuff. Men trying to get their grind on and whatnot. All right, what are we going to do?
Right.
I mean, let's just put our cards on the table and my whole approach when I was, again, vet, I guess now the word to use is vet for a wife.
Yeah.
But I put my cards on the table. You were talking about how guys don't have a plan of what they want to do. I had a plan. I was like, look, this is where I'm laying out. This is what I'm offering. This is the life. This is where my career is going. This is what I'm looking to do. Do you want to jump on this train or not? And if you didn't, then I just kept it moving to the next stop. There was no hard feelings about it. So yeah, I like I said, I have very little to disagree with you on this topic, but I think ultimately both men and women, you're going to have to come to this has to be a rational decision. And unfortunately, a lot of times I see a lot of ladies that you're making decisions out of emotional, out of your emotions. And that's, to me, that's always been dangerous, because just as you can make decisions with emotion, you can certainly leave something without. You talk about why men cheat, but I'm looking at the stats. Women cheat just about at the same rate as men do.
Now,
So
100%.
So,
I found now is actually more women. That's my check.
Yeah, well, I was just, obviously the buzz right now, you got Chad Johnson. He just split with his lady Rel, and then she went on the podcast and talked about how she cheated with her husband to get with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the question always was like, well, why would you get with someone who cheated on her husband and that family? Because she had 3 kids. I don't know if they were all with the same dude, but I'm just saying, you made that leap, but you still chose. So, and this like the second time, he's always used to dealing with these sort of hot-tempered, attractive women, but
I use this example.
There's a shelf life on them because they always want drama.
Last night I was on a Real Precious panel, and she played a video with this. I think it was an NFL player who cheated on his wife, and his wife knows about it. And he goes, "We're working on it. She knows about it. And she's cool with it." I'm like, "You're full of shit." First of all, no wife's gonna be cool with you cheating on her. 2, she doesn't want to leave the money. That's the second problem, because you have money.
Well, hang on. Hang on. Well, that's the question. And maybe Ray, you can chime in on this. You said, well, she's not going to be cool with it. Is that true all the time?
Right.
Like, do some women understand what they call the quote unquote assignment?
Yep.
And they'll be like, look, as long as I'm taken care of, as long as I got stuff going on, all they say is, even Magic Johnson, even with his with Cookie, because Magic, he was, certainly putting the stuff out there, and all she asked for was, look, don't put it in my face.
Right.
You got a girl in every town pretty much. Don't put it in my face or whatnot, and we'll be cool with it. But obviously he got reckless with it, no pun intended.
Yep.
And it spilled out, and we all know what happened after that. But she still stuck with the dude. So, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was like, we can take it out of the community. Bill Gates.
Yeah.
He still got to go see his ex-girlfriend after he got married once a month for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess she really, really made some real good apple dumplings. But 100%, like if you're dealing with a quote unquote high value man, that dude sets the rules. I don't care what you say. Like, he's like, it's whatever. Like, this is what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't make it, well, actually, as long as everybody's on the same page, I don't care how people get down. It's when one party is in the dark about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, if you got it like that and like, oh, ain't nobody leaving you, then be honest. And that's what I was saying at the beginning of the show. I think the cheating of that nature, because I don't think that the physical, we're going on the women's definition of cheating.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said it at the beginning of this thing. I was like, when you lie to somebody that you're not going to do something and then you engage in the activity, that is coward action. Like, you are not a player. You ain't a pimp. Like, you ain't cool.
Right.
Like, that's weak shit, because everyone should be on the same page. Like, if you got it like that, be like, yeah, I cheat on my girl and she knows. Like, at least she's informed. Like, if she want to stick it out and do that, give them the option. The problem is these dudes that do that aren't giving the option. You're not on a level playing field. You are being deceiving to go get involved in some extracurricular activities because you're not man enough to have her be in the game too, because she's gonna do it better than you.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna have more opportunity than you.
Yeah.
And you don't want to risk losing it.
Right.
That's what it is. And you ain't got a lock on it like you think you do. Otherwise, you'd be like, yo, like, this is what I want to do.
Right. There's a question. Someone dropped a comment that champion feminists, men and women are not naturally monogamous, and women have way more options to exercise than men. Just the first part of that. Do you think that's true? That both just the human, the Homo sapiens.
Which comment do you want me to highlight, Paul?
I am the single ones. The one where it says men and women are not naturally monogamous.
Now that was champion feminist.
I do have a take on that.
So what do you think about that?
So the reality of the situation is men are not, women are, because y'all have historically 5,000 years of data had risk involved getting pregnant. So you needed to keep that guy around to protect you so you could give birth. And then you needed him around to protect you and the child after you've given birth, because kids, we don't make offspring that come out fully programmed like a horse. Horses, they poop out a baby. As soon as that baby gets up, it's a horse. It does horse shit. Humans do not do that. Men are non-monogamous, and you can tell which side of the species is non-monogamous from a scientific perspective easily. The one that gets pregnant needs the other one to protect it. If a man can, what's the point in a woman being non-monogamous if she's out the game for 9 months after she conceives?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do anything else. If we needed non-monogamous women, then y'all would be pooping out babies once a week or some shit.
But now,
then
how do you define monogamy?
So monogamy means that the woman needed that male who got her pregnant historically to protect his. The incentive structure is, men, we want to spread seed because we can get a whole town pregnant by ourselves. If you had a whole city and there was one dude in there, you could repopulate the earth. You'd be good.
But do you think a man wants to? I don't know if a man wants to do that. I
So,
think it's more based in that.
From a historical perspective, the only reason that we have monogamy in the fashion that we experience it now is because of piracy. So like port cities, when they had men coming in and anybody could bang your wife, you needed to verify that the offspring was yours, and you didn't want that to happen because there's an opportunity that this woman could get pregnant, and like maybe she can only have one kid because childbirth was not safe, right? So if you're going to risking the biscuit to bring this child into the world, that you have to, because there was also no there was no way to get rid of the baby. So you had to see this through. You get pregnant, you got to see it through. So if you have a non-monogamous woman and everybody's just free loving it, right? And one of those sailors comes in and gets your wife pregnant. Now the seed is not yours. Your lineage is no longer going forward. That's the only reason we engage. We enjoy sex, but like the premise of it is you're supposed to be passing your genes on. That's why sex exists.
Wow. I don't know.
So
I think of it.
But listen.
Go ahead. All right.
Those port towns came up with the concept of marriage so that they could lock their women down, because the port towns, you also had people from different tribes coming in. And that was their way of protecting their genetic lineage. They said, yo, this dude, like these dudes are coming in on these boats. Like we keep having these people that don't look like us get made. Obviously, these chicks are banging dudes that are coming in from the ships. The concept of marriage came from that. They go, yo, we're going to create this bond where we're just together. Like, you're my chick. I'm going to reproduce with you. Stop banging the fishermen. Stop banging the pirates. I've got a claim on this woman. But before that, the woman still needed the man who got her pregnant to protect her for her survival when we still had predators. So there's always been a tinge for women to go, yo, I need you to be around. And for dudes to go, I want to go make a bunch of babies. Like, I don't think that both halves of this, because if we didn't have the women protected, we wouldn't exist. That's the reason we are the disposable of the species. Women are more important than us, because if all the women disappeared, we can't put an embryo in us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we only need one guy left. As long as one guy survives, humanity will be all right. He'll get all them chicks knocked up and they'll sort it out. We've done it before. But you remove all the women, it's over. Done. That's the end of us. So women are always protected, but they've always had to have an incentive structure to go, hey, will you protect us? But have we been doing monogamy for a long time? Yes. Have we been doing it successfully outside of modern times for a long time? Yes. So we do have, the inherent genetic data of material that we are made of is what it is. We have urges. Some people are more geared towards non-monogamy. And Mr. Bennett, I'm guessing you're like me. I am a monogamous person if I'm in a relationship. If I'm not, then I'm very non-monogamous. Like, But for me to get into a relationship at this point, I'm like, you're going to have to do something to convince me that my life's going to be better. Like, because if it's not, then what's the point in the current state that we find ourselves?
Yeah. As far as the premise of men want to spread their seed, I don't know if it had anything to do with that.
Genghis
I just think
Khan populated China with.
I know he did. I know he did.
Like he literally made
and
everyone related.
He's like the top 1% of the 1%.
Yep.
I just think most guys just want to get off. I think
100%.
the kid is like the after effect. And there's very
that's
few
science. That's science. That's how we copulate.
I understand that. I'm just saying, I'm talking about as a man, like what drives. Like when I got married, I had like kids was like probably third on the list, fourth or fifth on the list.
Right.
I just wanted sex, man. I mean, that's
the beauty of science, though. That's how it gets us to replicate because it feels great. I
understand that. But I'm just saying, but when you say that the purpose of men, we just want to spread our seed. No, we don't. We want to get rid of, we don't care where the seed goes. We just need to release it because it builds up and it gets painful and hurts. And we just need to get rid of it. So if it goes into the grass, if it goes into to wherever, most guys don't care. I think most men need to be very intentional about wanting to have children. And and most guys I talk to today, children is not in the discussion. Like I've met very few guys growing up, and you might have, when you were 18, 19, 20 years old, or even like a teenager, like girls, they talk about, I want to, having family, I want 2 kids in the house and the whatever's. Guys don't talk. I haven't heard too many guys talk about wanting children, like just or this legacy stuff that you've been hearing in these spaces for the last few years. I mean, look, the only guys who got concerned with legacy are the guys who have a legacy to pass on, and most guys don't even have that.
But your genes are concerned with legacy, because you said you don't care where the seed goes, but we all know we prefer where that seed goes. And you're right, the child is the after effect, but your genetics want that seed to go to a specific place. Everything else is replicating that seed going to that specific place. Even if you put it on the grass, you thinking about where you wanted it to go because your genetics want it there. You don't have to consciously be like, I want this to be there. What you are made out of, the mitochondria that your body is made out of, wants to replicate. That's why we engage in it. That's why it was made to feel so good. It's not about what you do consciously. We are not conscious beings. Only reason we have consciousness is because we are self-aware. You know who else has consciousness? Dolphins. You know who else has consciousness? Octopuses. They still replicate. They're genetically, you have to do something. You can know that you're here, but the stuff that you're made out of wants to do what it wants to do. It's just what it is. It's the reason that we got here. The difference between then and now is, to be honest, the only difference is we keep bad genes in the pool because we save people. Technically speaking, we could get rid of cancer, and this would be the harshest way to get rid of cancer, period. It's called, if somebody gets cancer, you don't reproduce with them and you let those genes die. That will get rid of cancer within a few generations. Honestly, if you just let those people and those genes die, cancer goes away. We don't have it anymore because it goes out of the pool. We're fighting with stuff. A lot of the stuff that we have, we're fighting with stuff that we elect to keep around because we've advanced and we solve problems because we're humans. And that's what we do. We go, hey, we can keep these people around. Historically, plagues, all the people that got wiped out by the plague, everyone got it. Not everyone died, but a lot of people did. But the ones that didn't, the genes are stronger. A lot of the people that died during... You know what I'm saying? Like,
but but as far as let's get back to the, I still disagree with you a little bit, but I understand your point. I get your point. As far as the monogamy piece, do you think that human beings naturally want, again, because part of what you're talking about is circumstances. Okay. So women, clearly the circumstances, you're saying that dictates monogamy. But do you think that a man's natural inclination, even if he's getting it from his woman, anytime he wants, any way he wants,
Mhm.
whatever, that there will still be a segment of men that will not be satisfied in that relationship, that there's just a natural tendency to want
Mhm.
to sample fares from other places. Or
So
could a man like that ever be satisfied?
I
Because
would
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the monogamy to me is who you make a decision to live with
So,
somebody.
what do you
okay,
guys
and
but
not
think?
go
can I ask
outside
him
of
a
that.
question? Can I ask him a
Yeah.
question real quick? Because I got a good one for this one.
Mm.
My question is this. Have you ever been with the homies? And I know you are very monogamous. I'm very monogamous if I'm in a
Mhm.
relationship, but like you ain't never seen a girl walk by in a sundress and be like, God damn.
100%. But that's not.
But it's a choice. We choose to be monogamous. That goddamn right there is your genes going, yo, dude. Like you could put some seed in that.
But that's just natural. That's just attraction.
100%. But attraction is your, like I said, you can elect, because we are conscious beings, we can elect to not act on an urge.
Mhm.
But the urge is there because what's in you is in you and it wants what it wants. We stave that. Some men don't. Some men don't have the capability to do that because whatever they came from people that were mass breeders, probably. You know what I'm saying? Like they came from the dude that was like, I'm impregnating the Genghis Khans. They came from a Khan. They were like, I'm impregnating everything I can get my hands on. Whatever moves slow's getting it. And those men have a harder time. Like you can, I would be willing to say that if you trace back the genealogy, a lot of times the more metered men, you have two classes of people that those metered men come from. And you're either high class something, or you were some sort of revered warrior where you were like in an upper echelon. Those were the men that were more metered because you got to think about it. When you think about what we have access to as men right now, is an order of magnitude than rulers of nations had. Like they had maybe 5 or 6 sexual encounters from like aside from Khan, unless they were a conqueror. But those very I can't keep it in my pants men are either peasants or conquerors. Like those are the only, because like peasants replicated all the time because they were just like, I gotta get this out of here somehow. And conquerors also did the same thing because when you took something, you were like, yo, I'm taking this. I'm taking your land and your cookies.
Yeah, but weren't they still or mostly a monogamous relationship? And these are guys who had 10, 12, 13 kids.
I think they had 10, 12, 13 kids, but I mean, how would you know at that point? Because like if you go back and when you do your DNA, you start finding this shit out. You're like, yo, like I got cousins over here and like these people never knew this part of this tree, but like I'm related to these people over here. So no, they weren't. Because like when you start doing your 23andMe ruined families. Ancestry.com done ruined family dynamics because you got a bunch of people that were gone with no explanation of why you got relatives that are very close to you that you have no idea who the hell they are. And the genes are real close. You're like, yo, we are related, like real related. How'd this happen? Like, so I don't think that there was any point like outside of modernity where, because it also wasn't safe. So a lot of times you would be monogamous, but some dude would come knock you off. Now that's his woman. She's bearing that seed. What I mean, so you're right. They might have been as loyal as the day is long until they died. The woman normally lived because there was use for her. So I mean, I don't necessarily, like I said, I don't justify it. I just think it is what it is because like I do, even when I'm in a relationship, even when I flip that switch, I'm like, I'm not talking to bitches. I do have the goddamn moment in the right sundress. If the wind catches it right, I'm like, shit. I gotta get up out. I'm going home, bro.
There's nothing wrong to look once in a while. You know what I'm saying? You're a human being like everybody else. If a
100%.
cute girl walks by like going, you get one of those like,
yeah.
Well, again, that's what I'm saying. You're never going to turn libido or attraction off. That's not going, and I think that's men and women. But I mean, to choose and to stay, because I think that the issue that I'm seeing now, especially with a lot of ladies, is that they will, certainly get in, but will they stay?
Yeah,
it's like, and men always. It doesn't matter. Like, we had a conversation on the BMU show not too long ago. It was about this woman who was, I think the husband was out of work, and he was out of work for like a month or something like that, and she was already like, okay, I'm out, or something like that. But I made the comment that like every woman has has like a clock. We talk about for better, for worse, for rich, for poor, and sickness and health. And the more I go on, as much as God-fearing that as I am, I'm practical enough to know that that probably doesn't work for most, because that how she views you over time can change unless you're constantly being, improving yourself or making the most of yourself or whatever. Her image of you, because women always talk about this. You always hear, okay, well, I met the man of my dreams.
Right.
But the problem is reality is going to set in and be like, look, no, this is your guy. And more than likely, again, unless he's a reckless or, something like that, he's going to be who he is. And he may look fine now, but will he be 10, 15 years from now? Will you tire? And what I'm hearing more and more, especially with the Chad Johnson situation, she basically got tired. It's like, I had what I had. I got a family. I got all that stuff. I just tired of this. I just don't feel, I just don't have that emotional connection, is what they always talk about. And they bounce. I think men are certainly, a lot more loyal in that regard, in that we like consistency. We like,
Agreed.
things so not to change. As long as things are pretty good at home, as long as we, things are reasonable, that again, we're in cooperation. I got no reason to step out. Now, if you just, you just one of them dudes who just, again, can't keep it in his pants, and you just got to be out there and be sloppy. But most guys could do that. But women, it's like, I've seen a lot of times, once they lose that emotional connection with you, that's when you start hearing about the work husbands. And I've seen it constantly. Like, you spend more time in the office at lunchtime in the break room talking dudes about stuff that you have no business talking about. Than you do with your own husband. Or you talking about your husband to another guy, which is always, you shouldn't be talking about your spouse to anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think I see more of that, and I think that's what makes that more hurtful or damaging when you see a woman do it, because like I said, guys, it's like, like I said, I like predictability, because that then allows me to go off and do other things that I can be more productive. But if a woman, if she loses whatever it is, if she loses respect for you, if she loses that image of you as the, you could be very happy and satisfied in your career. If she sees something else for you that you don't see for yourself, she can oftentimes start to lose respect for you. And then that connection gets lost, and then other Pandora's boxes start to open up. So at least that's just been my
hang on, guys, before we move on, let's get Coach in here for a second. Go ahead, Trey.
Coach Bird.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man? I don't exactly know where, the conversation began in reference to, I guess we were talking about cheating versus monogamy. I think also from Brother Bennett, I can understand both sides. Ray's young, man. He ain't got to that point yet where he needs to get his ass home right after work. He's still hitting happy hour time. As you get older,
getting hurt in the club trying to bust a move.
Yeah, you look at it a little more committed, because when I was younger, hey, yeah, we all go through that phase where every little thing that walk by, like, oh yeah, I like that. Ooh, yeah. The problem ain't the looking, it's when you start saying it out loud to any and everybody. So as you get older, you can look at it, but then you got to go to the reality. Is it worth me jeopardizing the life that I've built with this person who's been committed to me? So I think that's important to look at, but a lot of times people don't see it until they get a little older. You know what I'm saying? And then when you meet someone who's willing to go all in with what you're trying to do, it's not going to benefit you at all to even jeopardize that. When I first got married to my wife, she used to send me these pictures, and I used to be like, okay, what's she trying to do? Set me up? But she would be like, you like that? That looks good. I'm like, well, I don't know if I should be coming. Go ahead. And it was just a shock to me that she was so confident in herself, and that made me just want to commit to her more trusting her more, like, I hear this work husband things, I'm not with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was working in positions where I had to talk to women all the time.
Yeah.
So I never looked at the women that I work with as anybody that I could date. I didn't care how good they look. I didn't comment on your new dress. I didn't say, hey, you look good today. I say, hey, how you doing? Keep it moving. I never got to anything personal, maybe except, you got family, children, things like that. But as far as
So
that,
you never asked what size, hips she has or
no,
feet,
no, listen, man,
or
I
bra
learned early.
size.
But see here, I grew up in a house with 6 women. I have 5 sisters.
So you can guess.
So I learned how to respect females at an early age. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't going to just comment on, even if I liked girls in the neighborhood growing up, I won't walk around, you know what, I think you're real sexy and pretty. I just sort of kept it in. And then if I got to know them on a personal level, then I expressed that. And when I chose a person, I chose because of looks first. That was it. Now, once I start talking to you, that could change very quickly.
Yep.
I wasn't trying to force it out today. You ain't that fine where I can't move on. And again, just this whole, monogamous, it's a choice. It's definitely a choice, but I don't think the message has been given enough over the last 30, 40 years about respecting your body, respecting your choices, you know what I'm saying? Just giving that type of respect. Because as we growing up, well, as men, we try to grow in what we call it today, building your wealth, building this.
Yep.
And we heard this all the time. The grass may look green on the other side, but I wouldn't go over trying to eat out of that grass. It might be a whole lot of crabgrass that you don't see. So today you just got to be a little bit more careful, think a little bit more diligently. Brother Bennett gave a good scenario that I'm telling young men today. Hey, have your list. Have your list ready. They got a list of what they won't do. Have your list of what you expect. And, you can make some negotiations, but at least give yourself a starting point today. So you're just not rambling about it and trying to figure it out, because looks, as we see, are not as strong as they were years ago, because outside of looks, what else do they have?
Right.
At least a woman can be fine and make your ass a pound cake. You know what I'm saying? Make you some chili, some soup. Now they're like, I ain't cooking none of that shit. You're like, but I'm still hungry. So
I mean,
be careful.
That's also the reason those chicks aren't ending up with the dudes that they're saying that they're dating. Like it's like I said, I'm actually around millionaires and a couple of billionaires regularly. So I see who they're marrying. And it ain't these chicks that we talking about. They ain't getting them dudes. Like I'm just saying. I'm like, you see who they marry, and like you can tell at a certain point, it's like the dudes that are happy have peace at home. And it's honestly that simple. That's the reason you'll see chicks and they'll be like, oh, I'm finer than her. Like, why she got a dude that's a billionaire? Because for that man, he gets peace. And he said, yo, I could toss you around, but like also this chick was willing to be along for the ride. Like most other women, and I know they always give me shit because they're like, Ray obviously doesn't date a lot of black chicks. And I'm like, well, culturally, there's not alignment there. And I refuse to lower my standards. So I'm like,
you have standards?
Oh, yeah. Very high ones.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah. And I'm not going to get into a situation to somebody who's been indoctrinated into believing that the men that look like them are boys. Like I've accomplished too much already. Like I know where I sit, and I know that I don't necessarily. Actually, I'm not even going to say that I don't need, but I'm saying from the financial aspect, I don't need half my bills paid. But I'm also not going to get with somebody that's, oh, I'm going to go to work like you're already going to work, and then going to have the conversation of why does it matter what's going on with my money? You pay for everything. I was like, I'm not going to marry somebody that doesn't give a shit about their family. Like the reason the black community is the way that it is right now is because based on that ideology in and of itself. Oh, you should pay for everything, but I'm still go get the bag and I'm gonna do what I want with my money. We're gonna burn up everything you got.
All right, so Ray,
Yep.
so let's dial in a little bit here, because I've heard you say a couple times, and it's great that you have access to these men, millionaires, billionaires. God bless you. I mean, the women, their wives.
Yep.
Could you just list off maybe 3 or 4 things, if you had the opportunity certainly to meet them?
Yeah.
What is it about? If it's just specifics about how these women carry themselves, and I got a feeling that I don't even think it's even about their looks.
Nope.
I just got a feeling that's never been to as much as we talk about, you got to look good, and your body reacts when you see a beautiful woman, all that kind of stuff. It seems like I see a lot of these guys. It's like, in our minds, be like, man, you got with her. Like even Superman got with Margaret Kidder, who wasn't really that good looking to begin with. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm like, y'all could have cast a much more attractive Lois Lane than that. So I don't think it's a physical thing. So if you could just talk about the qualities of these women, and is there a commonality between them that I think some ladies could benefit from? I mean,
Okay. So the one thing that's consistent across the board, even if it's, there's one, so I would say, so from a looks perspective, I'd say it ranges anywhere from a 3 to an 8.
Okay.
No 10s. 3s to 8s.
So you don't like 10s?
Not if you're trying to have a successful marriage, bro. Like, they don't know how to do anything.
And do you think the guys would actually say, like, don't go for the 10s? Like, if you see someone who is a 10, go the other way? I mean,
generally speaking, your 10s are coalescing in certain spaces. They're going to be a lot in the club scene. You see a lot of them there. Like, those chicks are hunting for a specific dude. And those dudes are normally folding them like laundry and body flopping them around and then not marrying them, because they're catered to. They're catered to on such a high level that they normally don't have personalities. They don't know how to do anything, and they just have their hand out, which is honestly a lot of what you get from these modern women. Like, it's that, because they've been indoctrinated into that, though, because dudes are tripping over themselves to go, hey, I want to be around you. Let me spend money on you. Let me take you here. Let me take you there. Like, these chicks are always out. They always places. And honestly, at this point, you start seeing it at lower levels. You start seeing 6s, because dudes are desperate. Like, it's wild. But so the looks are super variable, but the thing that you dial in on is each of these women, in their own respect, fills a gap for that man specifically. Like, it's not like, because like you'll obviously, me being younger, my immediate thing is I go for looks. I'm like, looks get you in the door, and then everything else keeps you there. So I'm going, how did you get here? But then, like, after you meet them, you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Like,
but these guys, they married their women young, right? They found them,
or they found them on their way out. Like, now, some of them, like one of my billionaire clients, his wife, he met her. He was already making 6 figures, so he was a high value man already. But he was working on a side project, and she got on board while he was in corporate America. And then when his side project took off, he was like, I just kept doing it. And then it became, I started losing money because I was going to work. So that's when I quit. So like he worked his side hustle and went to work making 6 figures. And then once it got to the point to where he was like, yo, I'm losing money showing up to this place, he quit and then went full bore with that and became a billionaire. And, and so like his wife was a little bit rough around the edges. But like, once you got in, the other commonality with these women is they're exceptionally kind. They're very soft, very kind. And that's like one of the things where it's like, these women are just really nice. Like, a lot of them are really, really, really like it's almost like you're going into a cult nice. And you're just like, this isn't even natural because like I don't normally see this dynamic. The other thing that I would say is a commonality is they're both very good at managing a household. The ones that are stay-at-home moms, like everybody wants to, they're not sitting on the couch all day. Like one of my clients, and that client is my age, so they're like 40 and under. And that client, his wife, was so busy that she had to have an assistant. So his wife has an assistant to manage the house, to keep everything that they got going on. They do philanthropic stuff a lot. And again, it goes back to they're kind people. They're very encouraging people. Like if you're in that, it's just like an air of warmth. Like you walk into these places and you're just like, yo, like the vibe in here is just different. Like it's
are these people, are they religious at all? Or come from a
varying degrees.
Okay.
Varying degrees. I mean, like we don't have any super religious Bible thumpers. A lot of them are very pragmatic. Like they'll be religious, but they're not like, yo, throw it in your face religion.
Okay. Now I'm just saying the reason like behind the niceness is that they've been raised in a, that kind of background. Because a lot of times you'll see that.
I just think I think it's because the scarcity is gone. They don't have a chip on their shoulder. They're not competing with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, I can go buy anything. I bought a house and built a 20,000 square foot house on my own lake that I bought. What reason do you have to be mean to somebody who comes into your house that has nowhere close to that? Like there's no sense of competition. They're not competing with each other. They're a unit. One of the other things that I dial in on is the wives fill in roles, even the working ones. So like we got a client, that Indian client, they're both doctors, really good surgeons. One of them practices from home now. The other one is at the hospital so that she can be home with the kids to raise the kids. Other thing that's a commonality, they're all very intelligent. Like they're not sitting out here talking out the side of their mouth eating hot Cheetos. Like they're cultured, they're educated. They're capable of, if you want to have a kid and homeschooling the kid, they can actually teach the kid stuff. Like they're real smart. Like one of my mentors, actually, him and his wife are both doctors, and he makes so much money that like she just stays at home. Now she got some, like, now that the kids are getting older and moving out, like she's feeling some type of way about that. Sure. But they're a team. They are a team. They go, okay, so what can we do? Oh, I'm gonna go get the bag too. So like, what if getting the bag?
That's the key thing you just said. You just said it. Team.
Yeah.
Most relationships are not team. Like
No.
I can point a couple of them. Paul and his wife. I met his wife. They're a team. See, my buddy CQ and his wife. They're a team. Some other people. No, they're a team.
Yep. And one
it's no team anymore. It says,
no.
It goes like, he goes, oh, babe, I'm sure $20. Let me figure it out yourself, fucker. I'm like, bitch, I pay half the fucking rent in here.
Yeah.
I'm like, that. I know that's being very dramatic.
Yeah.
But that is where my point's trying to get to. Like Paul, great example, dude. If you needed something, could you rely on your wife? I know the answer already. I'm sorry?
Except on hair day. I got that.
She said on hair day.
I am married to a sister, and one thing with a sister, I can ask for stuff on hair day. If that means, she's going to be at the, beautician all day or whatever. Sometimes things don't get done. So on those days, I've just learned over time. So we compromise. So we're like, all right, so hair day, you're trying to get a million things done work-wise or whatever, to set out this time for yourself to get your stuff done. And so I just learned very early on, it's like, what, she's not as reliable on that. Cause hey, did you get to that? Oh, no, I was running, I was getting rid of this, and I had to get to the beautician by 2:00. And, so that's just something I just learned over time. But yes, if it's certainly within her will and power to do, there's not much that she will not do. And I don't have to do a lot of convincing in order for her to do it. Her mindset is yes.
Yep.
And basically there has to be a reason for there to be a no.
Right. So to Bennett's point, because he said we're not going back to the 1950s, and he's right, we're not. The issue that we have now, and this is with these conservative women as well. So I just got done I broke up with one. we can go back. If you want to be a stay-at-home wife and you have the skills to be a stay-at-home wife and you want to get to that point, you can have that, but you're going to have to work for it. And this is where the issue lies. Women want a completed project. They want to come in and then stop working. I'm just going to come live at your house. You're going to pay for everything. I'm not going to work no more. And I'm like, that, okay, bet. The timeline on when they want that done is the issue. So, like, for instance, one of the key reasons my ex crashed out the way that she did was I was working my ass off to put us in position because she didn't like her job. And I was like, cool, man, problem solver. We'll fix that. But it was going to take some time because, like, I've got my stuff set up for me to exist, right? And I'm like, okay, so, like, now I'm adding an additional burden because, like, I don't know what the fuck you're going to do. So I've got to accommodate for that. And in the process of me working my ass off, she was like, yo, like, this isn't going fast enough. Right?
You're joking me, right? You're fucking with me.
No. That was the problem. So it's no. It gets better. So we break up, right? We broke up probably about year and a half ago, almost 2 years. Check this. So I continued doing the stuff that I was doing to accommodate her, right? Because I was like, well, I'm getting this money in, and like now that I know what I'm doing with it, I continue working that same plan that I had adjusted to because I was like, well, this will work out. I'm going to be in work optional and able to retire if I choose to in 36 months. Bitch couldn't wait 36 months. You're going to torch a whole relationship over 36 fucking months before I replaced your fucking salary without me having to go to work. So now I just I'm going to be making a lot of money by then. And then if I don't want to go to work, I can sit at home indefinitely and still have shit. Like it's like, that's the level of stupid that these chicks run on because they get flared up by the people that they have around them and social media. Like,
you think it's the people? I think sometimes it's just them. Like I said, it's a lot of it. Again, it's about their emotions.
You can, but how did those emotions get flared up, Bennett?
I think
somebody's in your ear.
just from sitting. No. It's like, why do you think a woman like in the house, like we don't like do? How often do men now? Again, we fix stuff.
Yep.
If the water heater needs to be repaired or replaced, what we do all that stuff. But do we care about? We need a new color. I'm tired of looking at this room. I want to paint this. We don't do that.
No.
So I'm just saying. So it doesn't matter about what's said. I think that, and there was a question that was asked from Travel One. It says the married couple creates their own happiness. The husband needs to keep dating his wife, though. Isn't that what leaders do? I think that was part of the point I was making earlier. It's like you constantly have to
keep them entertained,
get them to love you, find a reason. Like she's not just gonna say, okay, that's my husband, and he don't need to do nothing else for me. I'm just gonna be loyal to him, and I'm just gonna be his wife and all that kind of stuff. We constantly have to win them over.
But this is the thing that I would add to that. So a lot of women marry into situations. They settle into situations. And that's something that people don't talk about. You talk about people with sexless marriages. Oh, I talk to so many dudes that are like, well, you put a ring on it or you get in a relationship with her, she turning that shit off because she ain't got to do it no more because she got you. And I'm like, bro, well, no, 100%. But this is the deal. Women will do that when they're ready to settle. Like so for instance, if you have sex with a woman and you can't make her come, bro, and she decides to stay with you, right? And she had previously gotten folded like laundry by old Reckless Ray De Niro, you best believe I still got access to that shit. Because you're a situation. She settled into that situation because she couldn't have me. And they do it all the time. Because shit's hard out here. Hey, well, I'll settle for this. Like, you ain't getting your toes curled. You ain't doing the eye roll back. None of that stuff. You ain't doing, dude.
But even when they were getting their eyes with all the stuff that you're talking about, they still didn't stay with you.
If you were able to make your woman come consistently, and she wants to have sex with you, which means she has an attraction for you. She wants you. And you're taking care of all the other stuff. You have no problem. Good dick is act right. You don't have those problems. I literally, if I'm in a relationship with a chick, then I swear to God, I have a problem the last 3 months. And normally it's because something has happened and I'm like, I don't want to have sex with you now. Like, you have made me mad. And like, we got to resolve this. If we're not resolving it, I'm not fucking you. And then like stuff will devolve from there. But during a relationship, even chicks that are the most argumentative will have spats, but as long as everything's taken care of and that itch is being scratched, I don't normally have a lot of problems. Because chicks want to have sex with me. Like, a lot of chicks are in marriages where they're not attracted to the man they're with. We're attracted to the situation, which means that you're only getting birthday sex. You getting holiday sex sometimes, but she ain't trying to get on you. I've dated chicks with kids that were like, yo, like, step in this closet real quick. If they want you, they want you, bro. Like, there's no reason that she shouldn't be putting hands on you all the time.
But again, will she still be emotionally bonded with you? And I don't think that's always going to be the case. She'll still have that dude at the office that she still has the emotional relationship with, and she'll be getting that D from you at home because you know she's not going to be crazy enough to step out with the guy at work. So it's still going to be compartmentalized to a degree. And I'm seeing a lot more women doing that today. Just like men are able to compartmentalize, women are doing, I think, the same thing.
Well, I mean, is it to their benefit or detriment, though? Because they're able to compartmentalize to a certain point, but like at a certain point, and that's the thing that we keep acting like when chicks, you're saying they're compartmentalizing, they're not. That dude's got a shot if you fuck up. Y'all get into one bad argument, y'all ain't working through shit. He's knocking that shit down. And once he knocks it down once, now that door's open, especially if he did a good job. If he a quarter as good as you are, or better, God forbid, you got a problem.
But who would she leave if given the choice?
Huh?
Who would she leave if given or who would she go with if you gave her a choice?
The
guy who's the emotional connection, who makes her feel wonderful, or the guy who's able to bust it out.
So it depends on her situation. So if she's in a situation of comfort where she's at, she's going to stay in the situation. So that's the equivalent of if she went to McDonald's and the dude who handed her the fries had a little glint in his eye, spit a little game and got to bust it down. And he like really curled them toes back. She is not leaving her comfortable Bel Air mansion to go be with that dude, period. Because the situation's worse, but she's getting a need fulfilled. So he might be in the DM sometimes, every once in a while, slip out, because women cheat better than we do because men are stupid. We like, yo, as long as you come home, smile, give me a piece, like, I'm good, because we're dumb. And we actually, when it comes to love, that's the one area where men are illogical. We are illogical lovers. We be loving through some of the dumbest shit. Women are very logical, which is why most divorces are over the finances being messed up. It's a sinking ship. I got to get out of here. I got to protect me and this kid. Like, you are a dud. I am out. Your leadership is bad. I don't like this situation. Let me out of here. Because, I mean, you think about it. Chicks fall in love with dudes that beat them and stay to death. There's like, yo, He doing everything else I like, because in between the punches he chokes me, right? Like,
but there's that emotional connection, rightly or wrongly. It's still there. But I'm just saying, you can be the dude, you could be the guy who's doing everything right, and still she's not connected to you.
100%. You have to have that. But I mean, the reality of it is that's not your person. If you got something that's yours and like that's your person and y'all feeding off energy and like y'all bouncing off each other, and if it's up, it's up, you don't have those problems. The issue is people start Frankensteining stuff together that's not theirs. Dudes out here claiming shit that's not theirs. They're like, yo, because like me personally, my personality type, I could date anybody. Like I'm in the gamut of people that I've dated. They'd be like, well, you know, like he went through this phase where he was doing this thing and like went down these roads, and then he was dating this type of person, and then he was dating these types of chicks. I can get along with anyone. but that doesn't make them a person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's
Yeah.
people that you click with, like, you see them, you see that light, they see that light, and like, it's just that. And you're like, oh, this is somebody that I could be around an extended period of time with. That's not everybody, but there's also people like I could date somebody and just date them and be like, yo, I'll marry you. Like, it's cool. Like, we good. Like, and it's just like, oh, well, like, this isn't what I want. I'm like, cool. Like, all right, like, you're not my person. Cause I know that like my personality type, I can adapt to basically anyone. Like, I haven't really dated it outside of this last relationship. Cause I was like, now that I'm seriously like trying to get married, I'm like, I'm not living like this forever. I'm gonna die one day. Like, I'm not going through decades of this. Like,
but Ray, where's the network? I mean, you operate in spaces where social networking is like critical to everything.
So I don't normally participate. Like, now that I've been going out, so like I've been going to like we're part of like our company gets featured in this local magazine a lot. And so like they have networking events, and like we're going to a gala in a couple of months. Like, we've entered a couple of our projects in for a competition in there. And I've been going to those events more now. And it honestly, because Travel One wants me to tell the truth, I'm the common denominator when it comes to, I'm like, so is every chick that's single. Like, we're all the common denominator. I never said it was the chick's fault. I said it's not my person. And if it's not my person, I don't want anything that's not mine. I'm out here for my shit. So if you're not mine or I'm not yours, it can go both ways. This recent relationship, the last relationship I was in, I ended it. Discovered that wasn't my person. And I'm fine. I'll stand on that. Like, it's what it is. Is she a great person? Absolutely. For someone else, because like the shit that she got going on, I ain't trying to live like that. So like, it's that simple. Like, yeah, sure, I'm the common denominator. I left. Like, okay. Like, but now that I've been going out, the reason I don't go out much is because, well, I couldn't walk for a few months.
Yeah.
So there was that. I had a peg leg and shit, and I was self-conscious about it. But now that I've been going back out, I've been, working on myself, going to the gym, trying to get on my Bennett. I'm trying to have some machine guns for arms. But now that I've been going out, I get hit on a lot. Like, I got hit on gratuitously tonight. Like, I've been going on dates. Like, I can go on dates. Like,
no,
I can't.
I'm saying Mr. Big comes up to you and says, Ray, I have someone I want you to meet.
Oh,
and that's it. He's like, time, place, you need to be here, or we gonna be doing something. And while we're there, there's someone I want you to meet. I'm talking about that. I'm talking the areas that you're in, the areas that those guys are in. That's how that game works. They're not out there with the randoms and the whatever. There's not
a lot of single women is the issue. It's like in those circles, because like you were saying, Bennett, there's levels of that. So like there's certain guys that like, until they vet you out and they're like, oh, you're seeing somebody. Okay, let's go grab dinner. I'm going to bring my wife. You don't even get to be around them on that level. Like, I have certain ones of my mentors, like when we go meet, we'll go meet up one-on-one. But like, they'll tell you straight up, they'll be like, yo, there's tables that you can't sit at without a woman, dog. Like, it's just what it is. Like, this is how we do business. We bring the wives,
right.
Everyone networks. So like, you don't even have access to that. And they're kind of,
that's my point.
At least here specifically though, unless they have somebody like that comes across their table that's like, yo, this is another single person, and I know Ray's single over here, that's not even an option. Because like,
from my experience, Ray, that's really rare to happen. Most women are business women are taken, or
they know why they're single. They know why.
No, I'm saying, but these are old. I'm saying these are older guys, right, in their 40s or 50s or whatever. They have nieces, nephews, again, partners that have daughters in your age. So what are you talking about? 25, 25, 28? What's your minimum?
Bennett, I'm 40.
I'm still asking a question. So 25, 28.
I would say
you want to have kids, right?
My minimum would be probably about 23.
23. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, these guys in their 40s or whatnot, they have partners, associates, whatever. They got daughters, they got nieces. I mean, again, they see that circle, and there could be one to be like, Ray, I got somebody I want you to meet. I mean that I would think is an option on the table. Why should Ray have to go out and meet or have people or deal with these randoms when you obviously you have a good relationship? Some of these guys are your mentors or whatnot. If I was your mentor, I'd be like, look, we got to do something about this.
So that's the funny thing. It's like a lot of these guys are shying away from that because a lot of them are having divorces. Like my business partner is going through the nastiest of divorces right now. Like because they're seeing it and they're just, and the issue is here, it goes in droves because like there's like a whole community within that community of all the ex-wives, and they go around recruiting because they'll be like, hey, do you want to be like friends with us? And like you see it seasonally. It's like one person gets a divorce and the next thing you know, there's like 4 other people that file for divorce and all these women are in that group.
And it usually happens summertime.
Yeah,
I'm serious. I'm being dead serious. Like, look at the numbers. You always have it in summertime because everybody travels and they have the girl trips. All of a sudden, the girl trip became into the orgy became into a divorce. Simple as that.
Right.
But let's hit our final thoughts. Ray, you go first. Paul next. And Coach, you go, and I'll close that out.
All right. So
what's yours?
First and
Behave.
foremost, I'm going to behave as much as possible. First and foremost, I think if you are a cheater of any fashion and it's not amicable cheating where the other party has been informed that this is how you are and you are lying and going behind their back, you are a coward and a piece of shit. Going to start off with that. Why do men cheat? Countless reasons. Can't keep it in their pants. Stuff's not going right at home. Prolonged levels of intimacy. Like it could be anything. Why do I mean, and we're talking about the men, so we're going to leave it there. Does that mean that all men cheat? No. There's plenty of us that don't. There's plenty of us that would prefer to not be in the dating pool because it is garbage. It has been peed in. Like we're not finding what we want. That doesn't mean that like you shouldn't date and you shouldn't be happy. The reality of it is you should be very intentional because again, as I said earlier, the day that you took your first breath, you are marching towards your last one. And there is no reason for anyone, and I mean anyone, to live a miserable existence. And that means if you're going to fighting with these modern feminists because they think that they're the only thing left to date and that's the last piece of coochie on the planet. Nope. Ladies, dealing with subjugating yourself to these draconian men that apparently are keeping you in bondage, like don't do it then. But like you got to own those consequences. But and I say that in jest because the reality of the situation is as hard as y'all act, when you find that one, when you find your person, you gonna act right. Like I can't tell you how many chicks I know chicks now that still get on the internet, still talking shit that are stay-at-home wives because they found their person and they get to sit at home all day and talk shit on Instagram while being a stay-at-home mom, not contributing anything to society besides raising those kids, which unfortunately because of the attitude problem, I wouldn't want to raise my kids, but that dude wants them raising their kids. So that's what they're doing. Like it is what it is. But understand, you got to live the rest of your life out like that. Like, make the adjustment. Find what works. Find what's for you. Don't Frankenstein the rest of your existence because you've only got the rest of your existence to exist. I'm going to call it on that. It's your boy, Reckless Ray De Niro. I'm out.
In the interest of this political season, I approve that message. Yeah. What does it upset? Yeah, I mean, various reasons why men cheat. I know guys right now, like guys who I mentor, guys who are in my circle who keep it 100 with me, and one of the things that they always talk about is they're married, but they just get no respect at home. They're not revered at home with the women that they're with. They're high earners, and they take the partnership thing to such a degree to think that, oh, well, I can talk to you as if I'm talking to like one of my underlings in the office, and they would rather be with the woman who has nothing going on, made poor decisions or whatever. But again, when they're with them, they make them feel like a king. And so, it's for a lot of ladies, I've seen a lot of them, they don't know how to turn off or how to switch to be, again, have a peaceful, cooperative home where their man is respected. And I see a lot of guys who are in that kind of situation. And so, that's not the only reason. Yes, some guys I know, they're just dogs and they're just out there and they just can't keep it, and they have, totally undisciplined. But I don't think that's the majority though. I think both men and women, we both have, obviously physical needs, but we also have emotional needs. And I think it's your duty. And I do use that 4-letter word, duty, as a spouse, to understand your spouse, understand what their needs are, and do as best as much as it depends on you to fulfill what those needs are. And so I know we talk about 5 love languages and all that, whatever works for you. 5 love languages works fine, but you need to understand your mate and what they and do your best as a spouse to meet their needs. And then you can come back and say, well, what about my needs? Yeah, your needs are important also, but somebody who's going to give. So if you're both in a situation when either someone's got to be, and again, if men, certainly, if you are going to be the leader, then yeah, I think you need to certainly make the emotional investment needed to in your wife to make her feel, what she needs to be. But then, ladies, you got to meet your man as far as where he is, and I think that would certainly help to alleviate a lot of that, those sort of situations. But again, I like what Ray said earlier. Again, men, women, are we going to live together or not? And if we are, then let's put something together and let's make this work. It's not about how much money it is. I don't care if you're making 6 figures as a collective household or not, although nothing wrong with that. But I've seen a lot of people, even today. In fact, there were some videos played that I think household income is like $50,000 or less. But you could tell they're making it work. So live in harmony and peace with the person that you're with. You save yourself a lot of headache that way. And let's see what happens as far as you being able to, your career, your environment around you, to be just a better person around you, yourself, your community. Let's just try to find something that works. I'm honestly, I'm tired of finding. I've gotten a lot out of these panels about, it's a man's fault, it's the woman's fault, it's whatever. It's like, what are we going to do? And all of this boils down to is a decision. Relationships, marriage isn't hard. We're just hard-headed. And as soon as we can understand that, then we'll be a lot better off. That's all I got to say.
Trey, you're up, by the way. You're muted, buddy. You're muted.
Muted. Where everybody?
There
Hey,
you go.
listen, man. Relationships today, they're a little different. I always say this. Salute to my crack over adults, man. Y'all do too much damn fighting. You're gonna have to make a deal at some point, man. Just do it before you start getting too many gray hairs, man. We're in a new time, a new day. Nobody wants to put in the work to make their situation better. It's not a whole lot you can do as far as listening to others. Everybody has their own experience. So it comes down to, what do you want? What do you want out here in this world, whether it's by yourself or with someone that you want to end life with? But, to me, it's just a bunch of rhetoric, people making excuses for their fears or lack thereof. So, I'm just coming to this time now, like maybe, you 5-10 years younger than me. we really don't have too much in common. May had similar experiences, but not the same because I don't foresee it being that difficult to find someone to be attracted to me or me being attracted to them. So, everybody may have a thought of being with another woman if they in a relationship, but some act on it, some don't. You can't slap me and dictate to me how I respond back to you. You can't do that, and vice versa. But again, man, we're in a new day, a new time. Have a new president. I would hope that some point between now and 2044, those adults find a way to work together and be in whatever relationships that they desire to be in. Because other than that, just a bunch of individuals running around like a chicken with their head cut off, So, hey, I'm good over here. I don't have to go nowhere. Thank God I chose right, and the brothers that chose right, and the women that chose right. And salute to everybody that understands the mission, man. Because everybody's peeing in the damn dating pool, the men's and the women's. So you just got to make a choice, man. Which side you want to be on. Don't come crying, though. Don't come crying after the fact. Just stand on your square and let it be what it's going to be. Again, so the future's at stake, man. So that's all I got.
Guys, thanks so much for tonight. Ray, I know you listen to the class. Thank you, buddy, for coming in. It takes work. I'm gonna be there. Don't stop dating your wife. Keep dating her. Take her out. Teamwork, communication, respect. You don't have that, just move on to somebody else. Don't waste your time. Simple as that. Quick schedule update, guys. This week is the show I've been waiting for forever. I've been talking about it for a while. We're talking about this Saturday. Anakin, was he the real chosen one? We're gonna find out this Saturday. Next week, we will be talking about why do musicians die so young, and that's a conversation we're gonna have next week. And after that, we are talking about what if the NWO came back in the modern wrestler era. I'm actually looking forward to that conversation. So, except that, guys. Mr. President, one more time.
What's that?
Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Coach,
4 more years.
I can't say anything in the comments when I'm on the panel, so
Yeah, you can.
I can't. I guess it's just on my end. I can comment in the private chat, but not in the main chat. So
That's weird.
I don't
I
know.
look into it. Maybe something's going on your computer in that way because I know I'm having computer issues right now. But
Yeah.
except that, guys, as always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll